What is going on, everyone? James Larsen here with the XFL Newsroom one-on-one. Today, I had the privilege of talking to linebacker Cecil Cherry. You might be familiar with him. He played in fan control football the last couple of years. So it was a great interview. We did have some technical difficulties, but we pushed through the adversity and got it done. So before we get into the interview, cue the intro. All right, welcome everyone back to the XFL Newsroom one-on-one. James Larsen here, joined with Cecil Cherry, linebacker, played in fan control football and a couple other leagues. How you doing today, man?
Good.
So obviously brought you on the show to talk football, something we're both very passionate about. What got you into playing football?
Um, when I was in Little League, since I was like 4, 5, I used to play like 2 games a day. I ain't never stay up to my level where I was supposed to play. And then I started middle school, and I started varsity in middle school. My first off in 8th grade, but a lot of people don't know I played running back too in high school. I ain't just play linebacker. Um, then I just started playing like higher than my level, and then I went to South Carolina, won Defensive Player of the Year at the 8A school. Then came back to Florida, won it all through Florida, and won the state championship my last year.
That's awesome. So, yeah, you just mentioned you played some running back. So, how were those high school years for you? I know you played at a couple different places. You played Frostproof. You played with the Christian Academy as well.
Yeah,
How were those years for you? And what was it like settling into that linebacker role?
I mean, well, I was playing at Proper when you play with everybody with dogs. Because I had first cousins, like the games, very big when I was going across through. Then his brothers was my cousins, so it went from playing related to family. We've been playing with each other since Little League to going to victory, learning a new system, playing with people that transferred from different top programs like Winter Haven, Haines City, Andre, cover people I don't play with. So it was just a new adjustment, relearn the ball with people quick and small adjustment and be in and out.
Gotcha. So, I know you had some very good seasons there in high school. With VCA, you ended up going to the state championship that year, if I'm looking at that correctly.
Yep, 14, we won it.
That's awesome. So you have a great high school career. And as you move into college, you're at the University of South Florida. What got you there? What was that process of going to the Bulls in 2016?
I went to Texas, and I mean, I ended up leaving within months at Texas. Disagreement between Charlie Strong and my pops. And then I never talked to ESPN. And then boom, I look up, oh, it's Cecil Cherry leaving ESPN. We unsatisfied. It was all kind of flaws, and I ain't never say. And it was funny to me that because I was like, dang, man, I'm 19, 18 years old. This is that serious. But I went to South Florida with Coach Taggart. He called me, and Tampa ain't number 30, 40 minutes away, and he loved Polk County players. And then he offered for me to play offense and defense. So that's why I was playing over there too. So I mean, I went over there and just handled business. And when I went, and when he was leaving on to Oregon, and they had stepped to me and asked me to go with them, and I was like, 11 when NFL Scout sat me down. They were like, man, you have to, you just don't understand. And that's when I started taking special serious. And then I went to JUCO after that. And went to Sorry JUCO, and I was like, I'm just gonna get it out of the mud and show people I love the game. And defensive player of the year, set the JUCO record. Then I went to Grambling and 30 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a pick six. Then everything didn't work out because I graduated early, which I got the atmosphere of the family involvement of HBCU, and I like seeing Travis Hunter go to Jackson State. That was nice. HBCU is where it's at, but at the same time, everybody got their start early and went to UT Martin. Had eight tackles, 6 TFLs, 9 quarterback hurries, 9 TFLs, and I put up a number where I only started 2 games, 80 tackles. And first game I started, I had 15 tackles, 5 quarterback hurries, 3 sacks, 2 TFLs, and 1 game. And then next thing you know, Hula Bowl came, and I went to the Hula Bowl in Hawaii and dominated. And then after the Hula Bowl, I went to the FCF, Fan Control, 'cause I was told I was going to be drafted, but 2020 I came out. Pro days got canceled. I couldn't work out for nobody. I was with wrong agents. I fired like 2, 3 of them, and they really wasn't serious as me because I got on the road from Florida to Pittsburgh to find out Fan Control. I drove it. And next thing you know, after that, I got a call by the Spring League in Houston. I went up there for the top prospect. And I was like, all right, I done played 11 on 11 ball. I done balled out. So then after that, I went to the hub. And Reuben Foster and Brandon Marshall was there. And I ended up being the #1 signing for a country. I was like, they going to know who Cecil is. And I stole the show. And then next thing you know, after that, I went back to fan control. I was told that USFL was going to pick me up, which I just played with these same players for free. And I feel like what's different than what we was when we were playing for free 11 on 11 than the USFL get people signed when they playing for money. And some people didn't even go through the struggle part of playing for free. So I mean, everybody got their ins and outs on that situation, which, man, a spade, man. You gotta, if you're a baller, you a ball, first of all. And second of all, if some of these coaches just take away knowing a player that I'm played with a player before, instead of just putting the real out there and let the dog eat dog world. But everybody wants to say they catch on to people's story. That's why I say you live by faith, not sight. And you just let God time and work every time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you've been all over the place in your career, obviously, as you mentioned. A few different colleges. You went through JUCO. You had some successful years there. You end up in fan control football. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your years at fan control football. You played there in 2021 and this past season. What's the atmosphere like there in FCF? It's obviously a bit of a different game. Like, I mean, you're being controlled
It's
by fans
different
to an
because
extent. So, what's that like?
you, you gotta show athleticism, and that's what I think. Like, if you were watching preseason now, what we was talking about, like most people can't cover at linebacker. Like for me to show my versatile, I probably have to show a D coordinator at practice, like blind me out outside. Then I'll go back at Mike and show you that I'm just that athletic. Let me come off the edge, and that's one thing the major league is gonna provide. Just because my D coordinator I had Bell, there's Bell, and he had a linebacker get picked up by the Chargers for the Blues, and he said, you know why he got picked up? Because he knew my whole defense, and he just didn't know. Oh, I might. Nah, they had me starting at Sam, and then I showed them in the nickel I could start Mike, in the dime I could start Mike, but in the base I could start Sam back. And that was gonna be a thing for me to show people because one thing about me, I can cover them, and that's what fan control helps. Like you can't
Right.
be out there holding and all that. Fan control, you 1 yard off, and probably sometimes you 5 yards off. Depends on if you're in 1-on-1. They got 5 yards to come off, and you got a Galloway to cover. You got a Terrence Williams to cover. You got a Patrick Smith to cover. You got think about it like that's when you know like if you're a baller or not. Can he run with these receivers 1-on-1? Can he run with these running backs 1-on-1? Most can't, and that's what I could do. So, I mean, it helped develop my game a lot, and it teach you how to be patient and read your keys best as you can.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to see so many opportunities now for players with all these different leagues. Because several years ago, I mean, there really was just the NFL and that was it. But now there's fan control football, there's the USFL, the XFL. Speaking of the XFL, you got an invite to their draft pool. That's pretty exciting. What's the goal for you with hoping to play in the XFL in 2023 and make a name for yourself there?
Um, my goal is to get there and show them like I mean, show the world too. Like I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. And at the end of the day, it's like to be home with it. If I could be on the Orlando team because I'm from Florida, it's back to my roots. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is right now is the fruit of my labor. You know what I'm saying? So if I get
Right.
back on the field it's time to let the world see what they've been sleeping on 10 times worse than what you already did. And the story not alone is gonna put me in a great position just because somebody gonna need me to come in right away, and it's gonna be like, wow, his story this long. And a lot of scouts might lose their job, like I was telling you, because they most linebackers like me no more. And all of them, and most of them was one dimensional. You either got one could cover, or you got one can't plug the run, or you got one you got a good coverage, or you got one you got just a coach's pet, or you got one just to only do one thing, got to come out on certain passages. That's not me. I could go on all 4 downs, and I come help you out on offense too. And I love special teams.
That's awesome. I mean, and that's what you got to do in these leagues. You know, you got to be versatile. You got to be able to play multiple positions because that's how you get more film. It's how you get more exposure. So I love that. So obviously, in your career so far, you've had some high highs, you've had some low lows. You know you've had some tough struggles like the whole MLFB debacle. What are some of the tough lessons that you've learned along the way that have shaped you into who you are today?
Appreciate the presence, and don't worry about too much on the future, and dominate the blessing that even if it's small, little, mid, whatever God bless you with, just enjoy the moment. That's what it really taught me. And it taught me that you can't be too high, you can't be too low. You got to stay mellow. You got to just believe and have faith and just know when time presents itself, you just got to be ready. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that it's all football. It's all back to X and O's. Everybody can run as fast 40, but can you do 4 plays in a row? Everybody can be benched the most, but can you stop an offense that's a hurry up offense running about 40, 50 plays quick? And then you play as special teams. So you just got to understand your disadvantage and advantage and just be ready.
Right. I love that.
But
If
yeah,
you've got something that you want to say to some other players who would be in your same shoe in those same shoes, what would be your advice to them?
believe in yourself. Never neglect the dark moments. Never try to let the dark moments neglect you from what God's showing you within yourself, what He could do to you in the future if you just believe in the present of what you're going through. I mean, it was hard. I mean, it ain't easy for somebody to say, I'm gonna just keep chasing the dream. I get there, boom, everything just fade away like I'm dead or something. But at the end of the day, like it starts from high school with me because like Derek James just got paid today. Me and him brothers. And me and him was the only eighth graders that committed in the state of Florida out of any schools. When he committed to Florida State, I committed to Tennessee. But all I had to do was follow ball with my plan and look today he signed for 75 million. Come and the same person I was doing this with in high school, like the same person to tell you, like if Cecil get a chance, I know what he'll do. One thing I learned is you just got to be ready. And I mean, I always tell them every time, every D coordinator I play with, when I go into a system trying to relearn around a lot of hungry guys, they got to have that same mindset to me. You can sit here and hop, holler, hoop, all, yell all that on the field, but when it's time to get in them trenches, it's time to go. The talking is over.
I love it. Cecil, thank you for so much for joining me on the show today. For all the viewers who are watching on the XFLnewsroom.com or on YouTube, what are the best ways to follow you along your journey on social media, like Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that?
Instagram, Cecil underscore Cherry. Twitter, Cecil underscore Cherry 4. And then I got a foundation page, Cecil Cherry Youth Foundation. I give back to the kids. But that's what I'm going to do. My goal is to not only just dominate in the NFL, but dominate in the charity foundation in the NFL. Be one of the top, or getting awards or giving back to the community. That's my goal too. So there you go. You can follow me on them 3.
That is awesome. That I love to hear that. Thank you so much again for joining me, Cecil. It was great chatting with you today. And to all the viewers on the XFLnewsroom.com or on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. Very much appreciated. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for more shows just like this one.